Hello and welcome to the WenDirk, your podcast that discusses all the latest MFL updates, transfers, developments, and so much more each week. As always, we are your hosts Calvinator and Jimbo, and one important note, of course, this is not financial advice, it never is. So do your own scouting or hire a director of Metaverse Football. Jimbo, we have another guest in the studio who's joining us this week.
Yes, another guest, another very special guest, a last-minute draft into the WenDirk studio. Our very first Scotsman on the podcast, I believe, unless I'm going to get slated because I've missed someone in the 14 episodes, but I'm pretty sure he is. He's had 2 seasons with an MFL. We're going to put the spotlight on him and get to know him in a bit more detail. None other than Hoodwink. How you doing, my friend?
I'm very good, thank you.
Good. Glad to have you on the pod, mate. It was a very last-minute, spontaneous invitation, which he managed to sort of sign the short-term contract, a little hour loan on his Sunday evening. So, let's get straight into things, Calvo. Weekly updates.
Weekly updates, very straight into it. Yeah, so the personal journeys, of course, season 0.7. We wish it was season 1. Season 0.7 ended this week, and we're now on a little holiday, little break. More about that later. So what about your season end, Jimbo? What was it like?
Oh, it was good. Wyvern second in the league. Which is by 2 points, I think it was, which I'm happy with. We predicted to come like 5th or 6th by like Bastise's projection strength thingamabobs. The annoying thing is that the team that came first, I beat them twice, which is frustrating that I then lost to them twice. But we did win the cup, which was huge. We won 2-1 with a penalty in extra time. I was shouting pen ref when I saw it was given because the ball went to the corner of the box. I couldn't tell if it was inside the box or not. Yeah. And then I just saw like the commentary said so-and-so gives away a foul. And I went, surely pen ref. And then steps up in the 112th minute and slots it in. I got called a bit of a fraud in some Discord servers because it was, the English luck, all this bollocks.
But like no, with Watkins before, you mean?
Yeah, just a little salty little Dutchman, aren't you, mate? Salty little Dutchman.
Yeah. Feeling a bit bitter about that still, but it was like that.
But then my second club came 7th, which I thought was a bit of a stinker. So they could have came 4th or 5th depending if they'd won their last game, but we didn't. We lost 1-0 to a team which I think won like 3 games all season. So that was pretty disheartening. But overall, it was a very successful week and end of the season, and overall a good season for myself.
Great to hear. Hoodwink, what about you? You have 2 clubs, right? How did they do in 0.7?
Yeah, I've got 2 clubs, but one isn't a serious one. My main one is Daegu. Was actually really chuffed. Finished 3rd in the league and semi-final of the cup. So for me, that was a really, really good season. Improved on my first season.
Yeah.
And I got the Golden Gloves.
Ooh,
Golden Gloves.
Some player trophies as well. Yeah, that's
actually
nice.
Jimbo. Your resolution for this season was to get at least 1 player trophy.
Yes, so I've never had a player trophy in my whole time of playing MFL, and I finally got one for 26 goals. Mateus Honorio, my Brazilian striker, 26 goals. It's a shame they don't do assists or playmakers because I top 2'd that leaderboard, both with 13. So I was a bit disheartened with that because I would have technically had 3 if they'd done that, because I think the top 2 or the joint top would also get them. But yeah, Hoodwink, I'm a bit jealous that in your second season. Is that your first couple of player, or is that your first player trophy?
Yeah.
That's
nice.
And even a goalkeeper's are hard ones to get as well, because there's a lot of, I guess, variables involved with it in terms of, saves and all that sort of piece and playing against teams. So
I mean, if you're really strong squads, your goalie is not going to shine, right? So you might win the league, but not the Golden Gloves.
Yeah, if they don't save much, then they don't really get the decent ratings. But then if you concede loads, then I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tricky one.
Yeah,
but you both got a player trophy, so that's great. Then we already discussed my bad season, I think, last week. That was really.
I think yours is pretty downhill, isn't it?
Bottling everything, but yeah, I just blame it on being away and not as concentrated. My teams can sense that, like the manager's away, and they just give up or something. But I did have that one title race with Duff, Little Big City, and he kept winning. He just won everything after he beat me, and he never gave away that 2-point lead. So, and I kept winning.
Yeah.
So it was still a tight race until the end, but yeah, he kept winning. So no way of getting him back, and about the other teams we can forget quickly, I would say. Well, Arango is still doubting his career at Black Sea, I think. But
well,
let's see.
Why don't you tell the audience and the listeners out there that if you were to become an MFL player, you wouldn't become a goalkeeper, would you? You've had a little incident today, I hear. I think it's worth mentioning.
Yes.
A little bit of a sporting injury, I've heard.
Yeah, a little. My right wrist is a bit injured after a 5-a-side game. I had to play goalie. Normally, for the MFL tournament we're gonna play, I'm a striker, winger, left winger, or right winger cutting aside like Robert. But now I had to be goalie, and of course, then someone shot a cannonball, which I tried to stop, and now my wrist is injured. But luckily, my voice isn't, so we can keep going.
You told me it was like some sort of ligament damage or something like that.
Yes.
So
It's not broken, so that's the main thing. They did a photo; it's not broken, so we can keep going. And
shame it's the right hand, though. Shame it's the right hand. Not to get used to the left one now. Exactly.
But I'm apart from that, the wrist update. Maybe we can add it to the weekly update. The wrist update. But let's move to dev updates. So on Friday, of course, we always get all the latest dev updates. Jax is still on holiday, so Quentin published it again. And he keeps working on the engine. So he writes that he was continuously analyzing specific scenarios to make it a bit more realistic, the play behavior. And he improved some minor issues. He also worked on the balancing, of course. It's one of the main things, that the engine is balanced. And finally, he developed a new tool for the testing environment that allows a team to replay full seasons with the same inputs. So then you can analyze a bit more the variances, and is the strongest team with a good tactic really winning if you keep redoing the seasons. So that might be great for them to make the engine a little bit better each time. Then, of course, the big news was that most of the team is on holiday. There's a bit of an off-season break also has been announced. So the whole week there's no games or tournaments or competitive play, and also 0.7 didn't end. So the transfer window will open on the 13th of August in 9 days. 9 days, I think. And also the contracts will then auto-renew. So you really have a proper break. And a little heads up, the registration for leagues and cups will start on Tuesday the 20th of August. And the first matches are on the 28th. So you have quite a lot of time to work on your squads and do a lot of testing, etc. So there was a little bit of debate about that in general. What's your thoughts, Jimbo, about the longer break, more time until we have competitive football again, first football?
I think I'm all for a longer break, as long as, and like other people said in the Discord and just online, if we could have the transfer window open earlier as well. But it's also a weird one that the auto renewal, either it's enabled or disabled, kicks in when the transfer window opens. But actually right now you can still sign and cancel contracts. Technically, you still can bolster your squad ahead of season 0.8. But obviously if you sign someone and that agent immediately puts disable auto renewal, it will then go back to him in a week's time.
Yeah, so it's a bit awkward.
But you can technically now make deals with people and say, right, I want your player for next season before the transfer window opens, and still sign them, even though officially the transfer window's not open. It's a bit of a one to get your head round. Someone said, you can even sign players right now. And I was like, can you? Did it. And I was like, oh, you can. So it's always like the transfer window's not actually shut. It's just temporarily not officially open.
So it's Schrödinger's transfer window.
Yeah, it's a bit of a...
It's not open and not closed, and we don't really know. But
yeah, no one knows.
You can use
limbo.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Slightly ajar.
Slightly ajar, yeah.
Slightly ajar.
You just letting the light through. But I've not transferred anyone in yet. I don't know if either of you two have.
No.
I've not.
What do you think, Hoodwink, on this debate? Do you prefer it to be a bit more like quicker, everything, more seasons in a row, or you like to take it a bit slower?
It's quite a long wait. I like building my squads, but the best bits of the games in season. That's the best part of the game.
Yeah.
It's the most fun.
Yes.
So I'd prefer a lot less. A lot less break.
Less rest.
I think it might also be the fact as well, and I agree with you, Hoodwink. I'm in the same boat as yourself, where I like the fast-paced seasons with good breaks between, but like sort of a fast-paced one. Is that people like? I mean, Calv, I won't include you in this because you've got slightly more clubs than
more
Hoodwink
teams,
and I. But we have 2 clubs each, where I'm always really looking forward to my games because it's like 1 or 2 a day usually. Well, not usually, it always is. I've only got 2 clubs, but I feel like I can manage my clubs quite swiftly, and a week break is quite nice for myself. And I really want to get into it. Whereas I can understand the viewpoint from people who have a lot more clubs where they definitely want more time, and now they've been given more time, but not officially more time. That kind of makes sense. It's kind of a weird one. We're giving you more time, but it's more time for you to go on a holiday and then come back and then start doing your transfers and doing your business.
I must say, after like being on holiday and then you had a cup match and league matches, I have 7 clubs, so you had like 40 notifications of matches, so I felt really overwhelmed. So for me, it's nice to have that break in there. And I also think it builds up a bit more anticipation, right? With the normal league football, you have this kind of 2-3 month break between the last league games, and then so like right now there's like the preseason, some European qualifiers, and it slowly builds up, and then boom, we start again. So I kind of like that and take it a bit more easy. But I agree that then the transfer window should be properly open, so you can really work on your squad, test the engine with your new squad. So I think we all are on the same page here, pretty much. Okay, let's move on to the season update. So the Diamond League has ended. We have a new champion for the first time ever. Club Atlético Tango has won the Diamond League with 41. Let's say, Jimbo.
It came down to the final match day, albeit Tango versus Ortia, which is almost like, I was going to say Wrexham versus someone, but maybe not these days. More like, Yeovil versus Man City if Yeovil play their B team. It was just absolute.
It was not like a surprise anymore, that last match day. But still, they still had to win. You never know with the engine. I also thought maybe someone is messaging Orche like crazy, like please refresh your guys or do another lineup. But yeah, congrats to Big Wilbert for this great win. First title, really impressive. So I would say Dios Biccione Milano, but now it's Scrub's Milan side ended with only 1 point behind them. So it's really tight. And Meta still managed to get third, and again, Ballers 7th. Bit disappointing season.
Yeah, disappointing for them. Big one. Disappointing.
I think Joe B had really a great season, 4th in the league, and he won the cup. So he has his first big prize on the highest tier level. So congrats to Joe B also for this amazing season, and I think he will be a big team to look out for next season.
It's definitely Big Wilbert and his Diamond side. They've been building for the last. Or build what seems like building seriously for the last 2 seasons, and so is Joe B's OM Legends. The amount of times we've mentioned both of those, or if not either, in the splash of the week over the last, say, 10 weeks has near enough been every week, it feels. So to have one come first in the league and both be in the final of the cup, that's credit to them and the teams that they've been building. So, it's been a good season, the Diamond, this year. Something different.
Amazing season, great to watch also. And now with Scrub, I'm really interested what he's gonna do with his team, with the Milan side. Hoodwink, do you watch those games or do you check the standings? Are you interested in it, or you focus on your stone sides?
I just focus on my ones really. I like the updates every week, but that's way out of my league. So well, I look at my mates' leagues and chat to them about how they're doing. The big ones. Yeah, well,
technically with promotion kicking in hopefully soon in season 1, it is possible to get there. Of course, you.
It's possible.
It is possible. You can dream.
With a big old bankroll as well. It's possible. Yeah.
But that's the exciting thing. Like technically, you can get there, right? You need a lot of good players and probably some capital or DAO, but you can get there. But yeah, we like to kind of hype it up a little bit, kind of build some stories around the club. I keep an eye out for the Berlin team. They ended 8th with my Virgil Matthews, the talented Irish centre back. So I got some points from him too.
And it'll be interesting
But
next season, though. Sorry to interrupt that. If you, why you
also,
you,
yes,
you,
exactly.
you,
You is also
not
there.
the word you. If he drops in to be that 11th team, because he was purchasing some players over the last couple of weeks, so he might see an 11 team diamond next season. Hopefully we do, because that'd be the biggest. That'd be sick.
Yeah, and the 12 is still in the wallet, right?
Yeah. Who knows what will happen with that?
So I'm really curious how this will be a crazy big prize to give away. So
well, surely. So just to quickly speculate, if season 1's supposed to be Q4 this year, you would imagine it gets released before then. Maybe some big push marketing wise or anything. Because I can't imagine they don't release the 12th Diamond Club.
No, it should be. So maybe
before season
or we
1.
just give it to Griezmann. That's my proposal.
give it
best
Griezmann.
marketing. Give it to Griezmann.
Whichever professional football player first plays MFL, we'll just give it straight to.
Who wants it?
And if you commission, if you manage to do it yourself, if I go to Josh Sargent and say to him, oi,
oh yeah, maybe
fans playing
Josh
MFL.
Sargent
They did become a meme for a bit. That's why he's got his own emote in the Discord. Josh Sargent.
He'll be happy.
Yeah.
All right, marketplace. Let's move on.
Do your thing, mate. Do your thing with the
I'll do my
marketplace.
thing. Well, I found about, let's say, 10 new people again. So that's
Only
good
10.
harvest.
Good harvest.
Bio, Will, Sorare, Aye, or Aya, or maybe an Ajax fan. Robbie, the first time I see him in the sales bot, but I saw he already from PAX was joined early July. Vito Bruno also, Bocca Bull, Ota, Gianpiero Trentipo, nice Italian name, welcome also.
Good pronunciation.
And the new user of the week is Token, and he is from Argentina. I think one of our first Argentinian users.
Does he have connections with Messi? Any of those?
I'm not sure, but interestingly enough, he bought a Brazilian bronze team, Porto Alegre, for 195 USD. So that's why it's new user of the week.
Ooh, a little splash.
Being ambitious and going straight to bronze. Some active managers, bulk buying, Bad Hair, Make Think, Raffaele, Vulrak Agency, Matmat, Nico, Momo Juve, Mansour, and Scrub has been crazy busy also with the lower comments and uncommons, and also with trading some legendaries and rares. So very busy man these weeks. Rare players, Matkel, Niako, Frequent Turkey got an 82 left winger for 200. I think that's a pretty good deal. Dio, of course, he got a bit of a cash injection from his trades last time. And he bought 9 rare players. So working more on silver and the gold teams. And Duff did a little splash, a rare player, 84 striker for 395 USD. Crazy Cult got a legendary guy, 86 center back for 570, and Noe Sark, an 88 center back for only 600. I think that's a pretty good deal. About clubs, there was some ice and stone, but I'm focusing more on the higher ones. So Messi, Bad Hair, Aniki, and XVIX got an iron side, Niako Budapest bronze, Crazy Cult Toulouse bronze, 99 spent 250 USD for San Francisco bronze, very nice team. And Dio is spending his money also on more teams in silver and gold because he got Barcelona silver for 400. And then I'll pass to you for trade and splash. I might have did a little spoiler there, actually.
Little spoiler.
A little spoiler, yeah.
Dio got quite a few digits.
Loads
in
of
his bank
trades
account last week, so he's been a bit happy, a bit cash happy with his money this week. But trade of the week first, Roden Sturge. Those two have traded quite a few times in the last couple of weeks. There's been lots of legendary trades over the last couple of weeks. The trade between them, Roden receives little 89 Gerard Manning and 94 rated, Blumenek, here we go, first pronunciation of the pod, Marijan Sustaric. Is he Croatian? I think he's Croatian.
I think he's Croatian. Yeah.
Croatian,
but he's it's another 94, so it's one of the best players in game.
Is it Stipe also Croatian?
Stipe was also Croatian. So if we have another international tournament, then Croatia has a crazy midfield, I think.
Yeah, that'd be big. 89 rated, 94 rated, going to Ronan, and then Sturge gets himself an 85 rated. A couple of eyeball emojis. There was 5 reacted to that. Probably also myself. I'm not sure if there's any more behind the scenes here. There's a little non-MFL item being traded, because that's a little bit of a one-sided trade in my opinion. But who knows what goes down in these Diamond League back alleys with all these trades and things like that. So congrats to Roden. I guess congrats to Sturge as well on the trade. But the bit that Calver almost half spoiled, is Splash of the Week. Little Hoodwink as well, a little smile there, a little live rendition for you. He loved it.
Splash of the Week is there.
So, this week's Splash of the Week, pretty tame compared to other weeks, really. We had $2,500 last week. We've only got 700 this week. What a shame. Gold Club. It's a club this time, not a player. Gold Club, LA, United States. 99's LA Guns has now been sold to Dio. So, his little $11,000 injection into the economy of Dio is now 700 USD lighter, thanks to a gold purchase, which is quite nice. I think he said last week that he sold his Diamond Club because he basically wants to get his Plat Club promoted, and he's gone, well, if my Plat Club's going to be promoted, I need another club to get promoted into Plat afterwards, just make it a Gold Club. And you know what the premium price is like when it comes to US clubs, because a lot of our users are from there. I was going to say fan base. I guess our fan base as well. I don't know the exact percentage of the WenDirk. I can find out, but I'm not going to find out right now. But yes, LA, big club being sold to Dio, who looks like he's still on the march with lots of clubs and lots of players. Said he got rid of his Diamond because it's a bit too much work and a bit too much energy, but all he's done is gone and bought more clubs and more players. So
he's not going anywhere.
Figure that one out.
Yeah. We were a bit afraid last week that Dio was going somewhere, but he's not going anywhere, and he doubled down on golds and silver teams and 9 rares. So he was splashing a lot this week. Briefly about how did our favorite player in MFL do, Dirk. He played 2 matches for now Scrub with Pisione Milano. 1 goal in, I would say, quite an important game, because Parque Ibirapuera and Pisione Milano, they played against each other, and it became 1-1. I think if they got 2 points there, if they won, they could have leapfrogged.
Won the league, yeah.
They could have won the league there. So Dirk did his thing. He contributed, got a great rating. 1 goal, he equalized, but it was not enough. They should have gotten the 3 points, and then they would have won the league. But yeah, that's all. Would have, should have, could have.
He got 7.6 rating in for both Milano and Mercenaries this season. He got a 7.9 rating in the Euros tournament. So I'm not sure what the average is out at. But I
great season.
Maths, but I'm lazy to just type in 3 numbers into Google and divide by 3 really quickly. But yeah, he seems to be that sort of like mid to high 7s in his rating, and I'm hoping for a player of his caliber should be punching a little bit higher, a little bit further there. But
well, he has a new manager now, so maybe that is gonna...
yeah.
Although, actually, he might go to Plat to play for Amsterdam and Plat.
No, yeah, he's going back to Amsterdam Lions. He's got the same manager.
Yeah, exactly. So then he will be the superstar of Plat with that rating. Maybe he'll be.
Well, technically, he is a new manager, because it was originally Roland, and now it's Dio, but it's going to be Dio again. So technically, it's a new manager for the start of the season. There we go. We've nailed that one.
Well, we're very curious where he's going to go, and if he's going to play for Amsterdam in Plat, he will be definitely the superstar of that league, and then he really needs to deliver, our man. All right.
Hoodwink.
The big moment. Hoodwink has been waiting for.
This is the pre-big moment. So we're going to jump into your manager spotlight in just a second. But
it's a really big moment.
You said you listened this week or each week, and we've got our top 3 chocolate bar community list. And last episode, we said that episode 50 next week's will be sort of the start, the end or the start of a new season, mate. Will 50 be the last one? 50 be the first one?
Yeah, well, is it like 52 episodes a season? Is it 50 a season? We won't take a break.
Yeah, but a birthday's 52, but you don't really celebrate 52 weeks.
Well, maybe it's one of the last inputs. Maybe we can do a final input ourselves or someone else.
Okay. No,
let's see.
Well, anyway, just say that episode 50 is going to be start of the new season or the end of the new season. But basically, regardless of what it's going to be, that means episode 49 right now is the final input from the community when it comes to this top 3 chocolate bar. So Hoodwink, you've got some, feel the pressure. Pressure's not just for ties, it's also for picking chocolate bars as well. So, right, our top three chocolate bars that the community has got so far. Number 3 is just Kit Kat. There was no specification. It was just straight Kit Kat. The regular, I don't remember if it was a 2 or 4 fingered Kit Kat. It wasn't the chunky, it was just regular Kit Kat. Number 3.
Just a Kit Kat. Yeah.
Number 2 is Twix Peanut, which I'm pretty sure Duff has put in there for months now. And I think he did also on Twitter say he's officially retiring the chocolate bar from the list next season because it's been in there for so long. And then number 1 is the 100-gram bar. So it's Kit Kat, Twix Peanut, and 100-gram bar. I'm sure you know the drill by now, Hoodwink, but I'm going to remind you anyway. You get to replace one of those chocolate bars with your own one. And as it's the last sort of chance anyone's going to get to do it, you've got big power right now. Big power. You're almost like a Diamond League manager right now, selecting his team and buying your players. You've got big power. What's it going to be? What are you going to do?
So I don't even know what was the first one again? The
100-grand bar. I've had to search it so many times.
I remember it was explained.
But
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Well, it says it's a candy bar produced by the Ferrara Candy Company, a subsidiary of Ferrero. And it's created by Nestle, and it weighs 1.5 ounces and includes chocolate caramel and crisped rice.
Yeah.
We'll keep that one.
Okay.
And if it's Ferrero Rocher, then that can stay. Probably a Kit Kat. Kit Kat's average, I think.
Too normal? A bit too normal.
Kit Kat's fine, but and I don't know what I'll go for though. My one's quite basic as well, but a Fox's Classic. Fox's Classic chocolate bar is.
Do you know what?
Unbelievable with a cuppa.
I've not had a Fox's Classic. Is it a chocolate bar? Is it a chocolate bar? I thought I mentioned like the biscuit selection then for a second. You know about there's an actual chocolate bar, isn't there? Yeah. Chocolate. I don't think
It's a classic.
Is it sort of like a wafer? I'm looking at it now because I've only known the biscuit selection. I've never actually had the wafer, or the little chocolate bar.
It's not a wafer, no.
It looks like a wafer from the photos. Was it actual? You stumped me. I've actually never. We're from the same island, and I've never had this before. This is a.
Just make sure I've got the right. Oh, that's the right
Fox.
one.
It says more yum per.
Sure Google's got the right one.
It says the caption says more yum per crumb. I've never heard that one before.
It's going in anyway. Classics original, I think would it be?
Classics original, like the blue wrapper. The blue wrapper one. There's one that's a non-chocolate one, which is awful, but that one is my favourite. Okay,
I love one every day.
So you're swapping Kit Kat and you're popping in the Fox's Classic Original. Do you confirm that swap? He confirms.
I'll go for that.
He confirms it. Oh, there we go. So
Good.
Twix Peanut has remained in. And I don't know what to say here because the winner, the 100-gram bar, I've never tried in my life, so I can't even... Maybe that's an excuse. And maybe, Calva, when we have the 2 drops and we do our streams to them, we've got to buy that top 3, and we have to buy that top 3, and we have to internally give it our own review as well and see, is the community chatting a load of BS when it comes to their chocolate palettes, or has our community actually got taste when it comes to chocolates?
And maybe the blood bar also.
The blood bar,
as a surprise. And for, of course...
That only lasted 1 week, didn't it?
That was in there for a long time.
The blood bar was there for a week, got swapped out by Kit Kat, and then you've swapped out Kit Kat. So it's almost like the third place just gets constantly swapped. No one's brave enough to go for the top one. Everyone leaves the top.
It sounds good. I've never heard it in my life before.
But if we ever have this MFL live event or meetup, we should have like a whole table with all the different bars and then some massive contest. Maybe after the 5-a-side where I'm not going to be goalie. Let's say that's going to be the get your energy back with one of those chocolate bars we all like and love.
Before we jump into our Manager Spotlight, I still want to carry on this top 3 community list for next season. So I think we should swap out the food or the drink let's swap it out. So let's not do a chocolate bar. Let's do a top 3 something else. I don't know what. That's up to you, our listeners. So if you want to let us know what top 3 you'd like us to do for next season, let us know. It could be vegetables. You could be on Calver's side here and do vegetables. I hope you don't pick vegetables. It could be beer. That's been discussed a few times.
I think beer is a great one.
I think it's probably one of the most aggressive picks we could have.
Oh,
You've got a little Peroni.
Yeah.
I've got a Moretti and a Cobra pint glass right here, but which is probably slight fraudulent behaviour. But if it's anything like the debate a couple months ago about beer, then it will get very heated very quickly, as everyone just decides to insult each other if you don't agree with what their taste of beer is. So I'm all for that. So maybe we do go with beer, but community, listeners, let us know what top 3 do you want to see decided by the MFL community. Let us know.
We're waiting for your feedback. Okay, so let's put the main spotlight right now on Hoodwink. You already heard him before, of course, but now the floor is yours, and we're going to ask you all about your MFL takes, opinions, and let's start with the usual question. What is your MFL story? So Hoodwink, how did you find out about the project? When did you join? Why did you join? And what attracted you to the project?
I joined at the end of April, very end of April, so start of May, and it was just seeing it on my time. I'm a massive Sorare user. I mean Web3.
Yeah,
thing that
that's an understatement. I think massive.
So I love that, and this kind of showed up on my timeline quite a bit. And I did also, obviously, very very similar to Footium. I did get the original clubs when Footium joined, when that started, because that sounded quite exciting as well. But I got lucky with that. I got a Division 2 team, so quickly sold it in the draw, which was very good. So very similar to that. It's the same idea, Football Manager on the blockchain, basically. When I was younger, I used to be obsessed with Football Manager growing up. I don't play it as much now. Sometimes I'll download it on my phone, but I still love it for, like everyone loves Football Manager anyway. So it was really just that. It sounded really exciting. Then speaking to people, spoke to Matt, and just it sounded brilliant. It sounded exactly the kind of thing like I'd want to play. I'd get excited playing and be passionate about playing type thing. And it's not like a comparison with Sorare or anything. I know some other projects have tried to kind of make it like a similar thing. It's completely different. It's Web3, blockchain, it's football, but it's a good side. Both of them side by side are excellent for what I enjoy. So it was just seeing it on my timeline quite a bit, seeing other people joining, and then chatting to, I think it was Tingus I chatted to a wee bit.
Good old
and he gave me
Tingus,
a couple of,
good old Tingus.
He
didn't try to sell you a blood
podcast
bar,
was,
did he? Didn't try to sell you
no.
a blood bar.
It
That
was
would
very
have put you
helpful
off the game
advice.
straight away.
I would have been hitting the block button maybe, but he was brilliant for advice, and he loaned me a goalie and that kind of thing, just to kind of help me get started for my first team. But his advice was brilliant, and if anyone's not listened to his podcast, that was the best podcast of the season, I think. It was so interesting, all his plans for real life play MFL. He's a genius, but yeah, so it was just that. It's like Football Manager, and I thought I'll enjoy this. Started playing it.
Yeah, nice.
And it's brilliant. So much fun.
So your experience and sort of how you've been playing Sorare, because you're already within, we'll call it like the Web3 space and NFTs and got understanding them, did that help quite a bit when it came to sort of the onboarding of MFL? You sort of got an idea of how it all sort of works, just learning like the game as such rather than how do I, because sometimes with Sorare, like they've got the Ethereum and then you've then got the fiat currency and it can get a bit confusing. I know they're dual walleted it and things like that. But I think we've found quite a few people who've done the same thing as you. On the top of my head, like Sorare Canary, a mate of mine, Azzy as well plays MFL as well.
Zazzy that
Yeah.
introduced him to it.
Yeah,
actually.
he's messaged me before about some stuff. So I think I'm meaning to get him on here as well. But there's quite a few of you that come over from So Rare. So was that transition like quite easy? Did you find it quite natural?
It was easy. I didn't think that's even because they're playing So Rare. I think to get set up, get your wallet set up is simple. It's such an easy process there was nothing complicated. And I think even just someone could come in and play, and like there's a lot to learn obviously, but for the initial setup I thought it was really, really smooth, really easy for like a newbie just to come in and just straight away get your wallet set up, get your club bought, packs are easy to open. So I found that really simple. I didn't think so. I wouldn't say So Rare, playing So Rare and having experience with that really mattered, to be honest. Maybe it did. Maybe I found it easy because of that. But
yeah.
But it didn't seem like it just felt quite smooth and easy just to get set up anyway, which was really good because it's not always the case.
There must be a good thing with all these French Web3 founders making these fantasy games. All these, you know, So Rare is French based and French founded, and then so is MFL as well. You know, maybe one day there's a little bit of a collab between the two. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Well, there's already a lot of So Rare players who also joined MFL. Do you think, Hoodwink, we could get, let's say, way more people from So Rare to also play MFL? You think that's a big market? Is it already it's still untapped? Like, are you the first guys who make this move, or do you think there's like a huge potential still?
I think there's huge potential. Even I think people that play it, as I was saying, it's no like a similar game. It's a completely different game, but it's people that love football, and so I think most of the people that I've got into it are So Rare. In fact, probably 100% of the people that I've got into it are So Rare managers. So there's definitely potential, and I'll still try and get more actually because I love chatting. I love getting people involved and chatting about it. And like, I've not got a group chat, but I chat to people individually.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've got a new signing. I'll like.
You got some referrals in also from there, or?
I've had quite a few actually. Surprisingly.
Okay.
Because like I'm not really very good at like pumping a game type thing. I'm like on So Rare. I've not really had many. I think I've had 5 or something referrals. But I think they're kind of natural referrals. The people, some people have actually I've never like contacted me. Or know when it comes up the numbers. I don't know if it's an Ethereum address or something like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't actually know a couple of them, but most of them I chat to and go through our results and new signings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it does help for if you're introducing someone to the game. If you've got a few players to even loan them for the season, I think that helps if it's especially for cost, just to
definitely
get your own players in, but open the packs and I'll get you.
Yeah, it feels like, I won't say like an unwritten rule, but like as part of the community, if like you're say like an established player, like we'll say all 3 of us here are, and you've got like a lot of players, for example, say like Tingus Pingus had in your situation, Hoodwink, or I've got a couple of friends who I've helped join the game. It almost feels like to encourage me, go, right, I'll loan a couple of players for the season. And I really like the fact that you highlighted that someone in the community like helped you out a lot. We see it a lot that people say the community within MFL doesn't really have a bad side, or doesn't like there's no negativity within it at times. There may be some disagreements in the Discord about some things, and next morning everyone's fine sort of thing. But I think that the community here is very helpful. There's lots of resources out there to help as well. Unbiased opinion this podcast. But there's lots of great stuff out there. And I think if it's the podcast or streams, you've got Ali's tool, you've got Alexis's tool. When you see that sort of content over socials, it maybe from say a So Rare player's point of view or a non-player's point of view, when they see all that content, you have a bit more trust, a bit more faith in a game. Because at the end of the day, from an outside perspective, I guess when you look at it, MFL's still not a fully fledged game yet. It's still in alpha season, so there's always maybe that skepticism. But hopefully, next couple of months we'll be in the first official season, and once promotion relegation gets announced and introduced, which I'm buzzing for, because the carnage that will ensue afterwards will then see a big push in players. I'm hoping, and I'm hoping so rare because of the similarities in terms of, I know they are completely different games. One's fantasy football, one's Football Manager, but just that interest in football games online, like a quick pace. So rare is a very quick, fast-paced game. One that you can't almost control a bit because if someone, gets a red card or Jonas a big error leading to a goal in the first couple minutes sort of thing. Whereas you can control a bit of MFL. But I'm just really glad to hear that your first initial experiences with MFL have been really positive. That's great to hear.
Yeah, definitely. So could you tell us a bit more like how you're approaching the game? Are you big on testing everything on data, or you just get like a good bunch of guys and you play them in your favorite formation and see how it goes?
A mix of both really, because I've got my favourite formation and I've got that in both clubs. I've got my tactics the same in both clubs, so I'm quite rigid in that way, whereas I'm just going to play that. That's kind of what I've tested and think works for me. Bits where I look more into the data is things like my goalie, for example, that won the Golden Glove, Sylvan Tran, I think his name is. I remember I put in the Discord before the season started, when do you start to panic about your pre-season results? Because he was getting hammered, like 4-5-0 or 6-1. And I thought, God, like, this isn't going well. This is no fun. And then I looked at my goal. My goalie was getting like 4.5 or 5 rating every week. And it was only friendlies, but I think I looked at his previous seasons and his ratings were always low. And I don't know how much, if people look into that much or if they even care about match rating or they know he's a 70 rated goalie, for example, so I'm just going to keep playing him. But then I scouted for this new guy that I got, the French guy, and I'd seen his previous seasons. He'd had really good ratings, a lot of saves, some clean sheets. And I thought, right, I'm going to sell my goalie, even though it might be my defence that's a problem, but I didn't trust this goalie. I got this new guy for a bit of scouting, and then he's probably won me a few games, won the Golden Glove, and so to me, I think that's hopefully down to the scouting rather than just luck. And hopefully my other goalie was actually rubbish and I've not just ditched him because of friendlies. And then things like, I'm quite specific way, like I've got 2 up front, so I want a physical striker and I want a wee fast striker. Both my subs, I usually have 4 strikers in my squad. So I've got my good one, which is Vaughn, who was one of my very, very first guys that I got in one of my packs, my original packs. And he's a bagsman, he scores all the time. And then I've got a wee guy called, I call him Andy, it's Andreas Man, but I call him Andy Man. I think he's like 5'7", fast. And then behind them, I've got guys that are lower rated, but similar in sort of stature. So, and then I've got my wee Brazilian right mids. One I'm obsessed with is Arthur De Fatima. He's an assist machine. He had the rating at 8 for the whole season. Just unbelievable.
I'm now looking at your list now, yeah. I think, have you tweeted about him a few times as well, I think?
Every
Yeah, because I feel like maybe it might be this season or last year, and you saying like, it might have been when you tweeted about him, and I might have replied to him once, and maybe with my Brazilian strikers. There's something about Brazilians, man. I'm looking at him now. 85 passing on him as well.
Yeah, it's the passing that was the
15 assists this season.
He doesn't score. I think he only scored once, but his passing is the up to the strikers is the key.
96 chances created.
So
he's a monster.
Dominating the midfield.
Yeah.
And I play a Cam, but I've got, I think his name's Estevez. I think I called him the Metaverse Messi. He's like 5'6" or something like that. And he just creates, like, I think he's got double the chance creation of anyone else in my squad. He's a centre forward, but I play him as a Cam. And he's a monster as well. So things like that I kind of look out for. If I want him maybe high passing, I think he's got. And
he's got 90 dribbling as well.
90 dribbling, that's it. That's
dribbling
Messi.
Yeah, he's a 71 rated. Does he come out higher as a Cam then? Does he, or is he
No,
still...
I think it's 1. I think he drops a point.
Yeah, he drops a
but
point.
He's still
7,
my best.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still, that means he still gets 89 dribbling, which 89 dribbling is still. I completely see now why you call him the Uruguayan Messi.
The metaverse Messi.
Metaverse Messi, yeah, Metaverse Messi.
But so I'm quite like, my scouting is kind of like that, where I think I got him for a pack, then I was like, I'll sell him, I didn't play a centre forward, but actually put him in there, and he's brilliant for my two boys up top. And then my subs are the same. I've got a guy called Rigby who I signed quite early on, and he gets a lot of assists. And then my right mid is another wee Brazilian, I think he's a Brazilian 17-year-old. He's like 59 rated, but his stats that I care about are higher. So again, part of my scouting is looking at specific stats that I'm after rather than just an overall rating.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I think that so many people just get caught up on maybe what the overall is, but especially if they've got a secondary position, or like in your case, you're focusing on particular stats, then you don't look at, as long as the other ones you're happy with and content with, you just want the ones that are really good.
But that's also interesting then about goalie, because it's pure rating normally. But maybe the height mattered then, or like
height is,
I guess the
guy
height.
I think was maybe 5'10" or 5'11".
Okay,
it's superstitious at this point.
His match ratings were rubbish, so but, the height came. I wanted someone a bit taller, and that's what I was looking for. There was some good ones came in. I thought, nah, he's too. I'm fed up with the short goalies. But his was previous match ratings rather than just an overall 68 or whatever it is. It was previous seasons he'd scored well for his other team, and again, I don't know if that makes a big difference, but it's like there's a wee guy who just signed 16-year-old, have the notifications come on for pricing and stuff like that.
Oh, do you? I've never used that before, I feel like I should.
It's handy. It's handy. Yeah. And I have it on for 16-year-olds usually. I've got a wee guy, what's his name? Sorry, I'll just quickly check. A guy called Canadas, Spanish 16-year-old striker. And so he's got the stats that I'm after. He's 59 rated, but actually his previous seasons, he's got season 6 for his old team, played 20, average rating 8.1, 7 goals, 12 assists, and he's 77 passing. So I'm hoping if I bring him in, and he's only 16, so I'm hoping something like that. He's got like a 9.5 rating there in previous games and stuff like that. So at 16, if he's getting like almost 20 goal involvements, when the progression comes in, will someone like that, I think he cost me a tenner or something like that, so will someone like that turn into an elite player? Again, he's only 59 rated, but is at 16-year-old, if he's almost getting 20.
He's a 60 rated at right wing, by the way. He's an extra one, so if you want to
and
right
wing,
amazing right mid, but
amazing passing also. 77.
Yeah.
I'm really interested by this this strategy where I don't think I've ever heard anyone who looks at historical season data in terms of their performances as a metric that helps you decide whether you or not you purchase a player. I think that's really interesting, and maybe you're ahead of the curve here a bit, where we should be looking a bit more into that, because I've never really looked at that. I've sort of tunnel visioned on current stats and his not current, his 6 stats and maybe his overall or positions and how they fit into my system. Right, maybe I should be looking at a bit more. Well, what was his career stats like, and did he play in the formations that I want in his previous career? So I really like that approach. I think maybe we might see more of that.
That's really nice. I did use it for only for strikers before. That like the striker I'm about to buy, did he actually hammer in a lot of goals? And also like, was he in some kind of overpowered Stone League club, or was it just like, did he become top scorer for like sub-top team or bottom team? So I did look at that before, but like more bigger approach, even for goalies, that is like a very interesting, nice one. I might also try, because sometimes it does feel like weird. Like, why is this one goalie so good and the other one not? Well, if he's good, just buy him, play him, and it works. And so I like that.
And there might be some hidden goalie stats that will eventually, when it all gets maybe spread out, like where you've got shooting, you've got curve and stuff like that. Maybe the goalie at the moment, maybe there's something hidden. And
maybe it could be.
So that's probably nonsense. But
long throws. Like noise.
He got an assist this season as well, actually, my goalie.
I think I saw that as well on your socials. Yeah, he got a little assist. I've not had that.
I saw
someone had no goal today, and like a friendly with their goalkeeper, and I went, "Oh, that's a stinker."
So, what do you think you've learned, let's say, from the past 2 seasons while playing NFL? Any lessons, or if someone who's new is listening, what would you advise them, let's say, to do?
What have I learned?
Or
Probably
what not to do.
What not to do? Yeah,
what
that's
not
also
to do.
good. Yeah.
I think one thing is probably just getting information that suits. I think I don't know. I'm assuming people change their tactics and stuff like that every week. I couldn't imagine for me. That's so kind of time. That's like really into detail, but that'd be quite time consuming. And I like being quite rigid with my tact. I've got the 4-1-2-1-2. I'm happy. I've got my squad built for a 4-1-2-1-2. I didn't need to, fill my squad with centre mids and stuff like that because I play a defensive mid and attacking mid. So I think kind of having a plan and no rushing into the market as well, making sure you scout, making sure, like I didn't really like message managers and stuff like that. It's something that, I remember it's so rare, it's just no enjoyable. So I think just making sure when you're checking the market, you've got a value that you're happy, even if it's like overpaying compared to the average price it shows. You're happy with your players that you've scouted. You're not just rushing in just to fill a team. Make sure you look at the loan market. For my second team, I got some loans. I think it was like transfer deadline day, but it's a rubbish team, and I thought I'll finish bottom. I actually finished third bottom, surprisingly. But I thought I'll just see if there's anyone. And some like 60 odd rated players you're getting for like 0.1% revenue. I think I got like a 63 or 64 rated striker, and I think it's just someone they've got extra players, so they just maybe help out or something like that. But I think checking the loan market, speak to whoever referred you, make sure you get a couple of loans for them.
Yeah.
But no rushing into the market. Try and have a plan for your squad, and try and find the right players that are going to match your philosophy, I suppose. Maybe a weird word for it, but I think that could be because when I started, I just rushed and spent some money, and I thought, these guys benefit. Like even my defenders are like, defenders with like 35 pace and stuff like that. They're maybe like 70 rated, but you just know you're going to get destroyed.
A little Mertesacker at the back or someone like that. You just know ball over the top and you're absolutely screwed.
And even if it's, I know for my centre backs, I've like kind of, and again, just through match ratings, I felt the left hand side of my defence was quite poor, my left back and my left centre back. But a guy called Hayakawa, whose stats are good but he's, I don't know, he doesn't score well. He's probably under 7 match rating for the season, I think. So I brought someone in, a guy halfway through the season, so he's still contracted to their club, but I'd scouted him, decent passing, decent defending, decent pace, but it just means I'm going to have to wait to get him. But I didn't mind that because he was who I've scouted, so I've got him coming in for next season, and that will now be my central defensive partnership, which hopefully shores up the defence again as well. So I didn't mind waiting if it's a player that you really kind of want.
Yeah, and I think I have a similar approach in what you're saying there is build your team around what you want, not around what you've got good in your agency. Don't try and force fit a formation or force fit players in. You want to have a high passing team in a 4-2-3-1. You go out and buy the players for that formation, rather than trying to fit things, squeeze and force players into particular formation just because you want to have that high rated player in there, sort of thing.
And I like the scouting tip, like just sign players off scouting tab and don't spend so much money. You can get these, well, it used to be very sweet deals. I think with the latest marketing push of so many agents and eyes opening up, there's a bit of a less supply of comments, but there's still a huge supply. And also, personally, I'm just setting like 100 guys on like 2-3% for ice sometimes, because it's like people with huge agencies, they are very willing to let some pretty good hidden talents also go. If you then compare all the stats, you can get really nice guys with a low revenue share. So I think that's a very good tip for.
I mean, I think I had 40% revenue share this season, so I gave up quite a bit. So I'm hoping, because I did well this season, it means those agents are more likely to continue their talents at the Wyverns and not get rid of them. I've only got 3 people have disabled their auto renewals. I'm not going to name and shame you on the pod. But Fantasy Gaff, I want your keeper for next season, please. No. But yeah, definitely the loan market is a good way to go. I definitely utilize it. I really like having a tight agency, but at the same time, I do go out to loan market a lot because I don't have some of the players that I want. I know some other people do. So please.
I was actually at 0% from my Daegu team. I never had one single loan, which is probably...
That's very nice.
It's probably something I should try and improve on and make sure to get players that I know I can't really buy, but I just kind of...
I mean, yeah, if you're thinking like, oh, you got a slight weakness in there, it could be you could try and just give it like a 3 to 4 to 5% to try and bring in like someone pretty good, see how that goes. That's what I used to do, and then I got a bit addicted to it and then start loading in everywhere. Because it's kind of like a lazy way of doing things. It's like, oh yeah, I'll give you an extra 0.5%. And
again, that's good for people joining because it means you can buy your club and you don't even need to spend any money. You can just loan everyone if you want. Some of the teams, I never checked this season, but last season some of them are like 80% revenue, more than that actually, which is mad.
That's always the message of my clickbait videos about playing it for $80 or less. Just you can buy the club and then sign everyone, and then you can play. So it's you don't have to spend so much money, definitely. So good tip, definitely. Okay, well, I got a couple more questions for you. One of my favorite questions we've been asking a lot is if you had a magic button to instantly release any new feature, what would it be? What would you release?
Player progression would be the main one. I think for ones that we know are coming anyway, I think that would be the one that's key. If it was one that's not an actual thing, I think something like a market value would be cool. Like if your player's on form, his market value goes up. It's maybe you're still selling for like £30, but actually, if he's scoring goals or your goalie keeping clean sheets, maybe if there's a wee like Champ Manager, Football Manager, their in-game value kind of increases. So, something like that. But I think player progression, I think, would be cool. And everyone's just got their squad filled with youngsters, so everyone's got these 16-year-old wonder kids. So let's see how they actually turn out, rather than just they're always 16-year-old wonder kids. So
the value thing is really nice. Yeah, I remember looking in Football Manager always like, oh wow, he went up like 1 million, 2 million, and I got so excited. And also Transfermarkt, Markt.com, I think it is, right, where you can track all the stats and see their value. So it would be a really cool addition. Of course, player progression is the big thing. And I also want to discuss with you guys like the 2D. It's getting really close, right? Jimbo, you know a bit more. Like, there's also googly eyes in there in the chat in general.
Yeah, well, we saw the preview again, or a bit more of an advanced teaser on Friday from Quinton. I think 2 weeks ago we were saying how it might be an interactive timeline, and then in the teaser it was an interactive timeline that you can click on, which is pretty neat. So it feels like the things we noted about potential features in the 2D a couple of weeks ago, each week they're almost revealing what that is. So interactive timeline, it could be the different speeds and the pausing and all that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to 2D. I can't stress that enough. I think it just... don't get me wrong, I love watching the games, but watching the players move around the pitch, seeing my formation, seeing my tactics almost happening, and understanding some of the changes you make, how they reflect into the game. When I put the slider on fully compact, how compact is that on the pitch, rather than just seeing the little slider move on my team instructions, for example. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, and also for us, like streaming things or other people streaming games, right? You can actually do that way better now and see what's happening on the pitch. But
and the content side, the marketing side as well.
Marketing
if you push MFL and you go right, you can just see the ball ping around the pitch. But oh no, you can actually see the full 22 players moving around the pitch with their names, and they go, when you score, they go into a little corner and do like a little celebration, which I think is really cute as well. Don't know what they're doing, they just run to the corner, that sort of thing. Yeah, it'll be great. There's so many benefits aside from just the fact we can view more than one dot on the screen at one point.
Yeah. So what was again the timeline, you think?
Well, Yax hinted at it won't be ready for the start of next season, but likely during the middle of it. It'll be ready before season 1. So we know if we ever get told a date for season 1 in Q4, we know it's coming before then or by then. But I think he said maybe middle of Q8. Bloody hell, season 8. I say Q8.
So September, something September-ish.
Yeah.
October. Well, October is already October. Yeah, that's already Q4.
Like
so it should be September then. Yeah, September to the maybe.
I want to go back actually quickly on the value point you mentioned, Hoodwink, about players in their top goal scorer, that sort of piece. I saw someone mention the Discord. It may have even been yourself or someone, but this week about giving rewards for the player trophies, where it could just be, it's not quite adding value to the player, but it's almost like a reward for the player doing well. But if a player is 12 goals clear in the mid-season transfer window, and you know that if you got him in and he became like the top goal scorer, you'd get, say, an extra 500 MFL. That kind of fits a little bit of your suggestion. But what are your two boys? I'll come to you first, Hoodwink, on maybe a little bit of a MFL reward for hitting those player trophies.
I think it would be cool. It's a wee added bonus.
I think it's not a bonus, like just nice to have.
I think anything to build up the MFL is good. I think that would be nice. I think it would be nice as an added extra.
It should be nothing like game changing. Just a nice like it's not just a pair of gloves or just a boot, something like that. Let's get the playmaker one first. Let's get the I don't even know what the playmaker one looks like in like the Prem, for example. Obviously a boot for the top goal scorer. I don't know what the playmaker.
Yeah, but it could be really good to have a bit more extra, like tiny rewards, these little incentives. So maybe a team of the week, and then if you're in a team of the week, it's just maybe 50 MFL, but like little other ways to earn. So maybe it's trophies, it's team of the week, and then maybe you can add clauses in your contract.
Team of the season.
Yeah, team of the season, then you get maybe 500 MFL if your guy is in a team of the season or something. And clauses like, if my guy I loan to you becomes top scorer, you'll get another 1% rev share, or you get another bonus.
Team of the week, team of the season, I think would be really nice. 10 years ago, FIFA 14, Wednesday lunchtime, waiting for FIFA team of the week, because you just know you're Grant Holt had just bagged in 3 against, Huddersfield Town on a Sunday evening, and suddenly I knew I was going to get his 65 rated card in FIFA. League team of the weeks, because you can't do divisions because you're probably going to get 70 players on a 9 rating each match day because how many players there are. But a league team of the season and team of the week would be so cool, because some little automated graphics for that as well.
Exactly.
Really neat.
Just a couple more things, bit more rewards, bit more fun.
Yeah.
So
just more things to add to the list, guys. After your vacation, just more things to add to the list. Please.
For let's call it Yak's recipe. Like he wants, we're gonna let him cook. He was excited to start cooking again. He said. So when he's
someone said, he's like, I'll just cancel my holiday short. Imagine he said that. Just I was working on my leave. I was like, that's unheard of in this country.
Okay, final thing. Well, final question. Of course, we can discuss way more things. But the last guest we had, Ron John, he had a question. Would you rather pull a player from a pack who is 10 plus overall better than your best player but does not fit your formation, or a solid +3 overall upgrade but he fits your formation? Did you understand that question, Hoodwink? Or
I think the +10.
Plus
if I'm
10,
getting
okay.
I don't know what my best is, maybe 71. If I'm getting an 8 to 1 rated, then I can sell them and buy a couple of +3s. So I'd take the extra, but I'd probably sell them. I think most of the ones that I've got good ones for packs, I've sold and just reinvested.
Do you get you in the pack game quite often during the pack drop?
I'd started listening to episode 1 when I started MFL.
Oh wow!
I was going to work my way through. I think I got to episode 10 or something. I thought,
I apologise for the quality back.
No, I didn't think that. I didn't think that would have been me. But I've been in them. The only one I missed was the latest one, because I was on holiday. But the first 2 or 3, I was in with the pack.
Oh yeah, there's more opportunity to win MFL in them because we always get given some MFL points to do some quizzes in.
Yeah, so
the quizzes. I'm bad at the quiz. Really bad.
So maybe I have to
Calvin
put
does the most,
more
I blame him.
some Scottish football or something in there next time.
Some Korean football.
Korean football.
What dribbling rating does the Metaverse Messi have in MFL?
Yeah.
And be like, I know this one. 0.01 seconds answered it. You know?
So, but there is a drop coming up, right? Was it 14th? Wednesday 14th, maybe?
We've got 2 in August today.
Yeah, 2 in August.
One in the middle of August, one in September.
Yeah, so everyone
opportunities.
Stay tuned for those things. Probably
buy a $9.99 kickoff pack and get 2 legendaries. Something like that.
I done well with the last one. I missed the rare pack. I was too late for that, but I got the standard pack and the kickoff pack or whatever it is, the £10 one and 35, and I got a couple of high 70s. I think I got 73. And something else which was quite good.
So yeah, stay tuned for more drops and streams and quizzes, definitely. Hoodwink, do you have a question for our next guests?
Yeah, I suppose probably what I've spoken about is, do you look at players' playing history and previous ratings and goals scored and stuff like that for when you're scouting, or is it exclusively just overall ratings? And you just hope they come in and play well. Okay,
so do you look at those player stats more in detail, more past performances, or not?
Yeah. Like my goalie.
Yeah.
Like my goalie and like my 16-year-old striker.
Yes.
Do you look at history and do you look at specific stats, or is it just an overall rating and that's going to fit your squad?
Great, good.
I really like that question because I don't think many people do that. Well, when I say many people, I know that I don't, so I'm just basically saying if I don't. But I've never, Calv, I don't think you said you've done it.
Yeah, well, I said like with strikers. Yeah, I need my strikers to at least be scoring on a regular basis. So if I looked at that, but not really other ones.
It's why I've never thought of that before.
It's probably a waste of time, that's why. It probably doesn't affect anything. And
we'll ask you this time next season when the players you've brought in, he's had an absolute howler of a season. He's got 6.5 rating, he's got 2 assists. So as always, hashtag time. To prove you've been listening this far into the WenDirk cast, we're going to give you a hashtag. And inspired by Hoodwink's little Uruguayan top dribbler, we're going to go with hashtag Metaverse Messi. So to prove you've been listening, last week, Bikini Atoll, bit of a random one. This week, hashtag Metaverse Messi. So we're going to wrap things up there. Just want to say, first of all, Hoodwink, thank you for being on the pod, my man. Have you enjoyed yourself?
Thanks a lot.
Top man. Top performance. So episode 49, episode 49 coming to an end. Episode 50, an anniversary one, coming to your ears, not screens, ears next week. Well, it depends if you want to stare at the Spotify whilst you're watching it. Big things coming there. We look forward to recording that and letting you all listen to it. So look forward to that. And as well, if you've got any suggestions for season 2 parts of the podcast, we'll mention this more in episode 50. But if you've got any suggestions to segments, or, do you want to see Calvinator just rant a bit more? And, maybe you want him to reveal his hair styling routine, something that a lot of the community has wondered. Is it real? Is it fake? Does he just wake up and it's perfect? That sort of thing. Is it a filter on the stream? Those sort of questions. You can make us answer them. But without further ado, thank you all so very much for listening, and we'll see you this time next week for an episode of the WenDirk cast. Thank you for listening.